Hello and welcome. All right, let's just dive right in because today we're talking about one of the biggest shifts happening in the workplace right now. This incredible and, let's be honest, sometimes tricky partnership between human smarts and artificial intelligence.
And this is not some sci-fi movie stuff we're talking about. I mean, think about this. Right now, 93%, a huge majority of Fortune 500 HR chiefs are already using AI tools in their companies. It is here, and it's already changing the game. So that leads to the question on everyone's mind, right? Is this it? Are we heading for some epic showdown, human versus machine? Well, the reality, as it turns out, is way more interesting and a whole lot more collaborative than that.
To really get it, you first have to understand what we could call the AI decision dilemma. Because yeah, AI is unbelievably powerful, but it's a huge mistake to think you can just throw a bunch of data at an algorithm and it'll spit out the perfect answer every single time. It's just not that simple.
Here's the heart of it, really. An AI can tear through mountains of data in the blink of an eye, spotting patterns a human never could. But what it can't do is the human stuff, empathy, real creativity, or understanding the tricky ethical shades of gray that come with any big decision. And this is where we get to the good part. This isn't a story about competition. It's a story about a partnership, about blending AI's raw number-crunching power with our very human wisdom. And you can see right here how these strengths just fit together perfectly. AI brings the speed, the scale, and the pure objectivity to tell us what the data is saying. But we, the humans, we bring the crucial context, the ethical compass, and the creativity to figure out why it's happening and what we should actually do about it.
This quote, it just nails the whole concept. An AI might flag that an employee's performance dropped and recommend putting them on notice. It sees the numbers, right? The what. But a human manager, they bring the context. They know the why. They know Tom's going through something awful at home. And that context changes everything. The decision flips from being punitive to being supportive. That is a gap that AI by itself just can't cross. There's this fantastic analogy for this from the world of chess. So after AI beat the world champion, everyone figured, well, that's it, machines win. But then they invented something called freestyle chess, where human AI teams, they nicknamed them centaurs, could compete. And the result was incredible. These hybrid centaur teams started consistently beating the best human grandmasters and the most powerful supercomputers when they played alone. The human steers the strategy, the AI does the heavy lifting on the calculations. And that's the winning formula right there. The centaur principle isn't just about chess. It's the new blueprint for business. The teams that are going to win aren't just the human ones or the AI ones. They're the ones that master the combination of the two. Okay, but let's be real. Making this work isn't as easy as just plugging in a new piece of software and calling it a day. There are some very real, very human challenges that every organization has to figure out if they want to get this right. And these hurdles are pretty significant. You've got to solve for trust, not trusting the AI too much, but also not trusting it enough. You have to constantly be on the lookout for bias in the data, and all of that has to be balanced with the very real feelings of resentment or fear that pop up when people worry they're being replaced. It's a lot to manage.
I mean, for a really stark, real-world example of how this can go wrong, you don't have to look any further than Amazon's attempts to build an AI hiring tool. They trained it on a decade of their own hiring data, which, it turned out, was heavily skewed towards men. The result? The AI literally taught itself that male candidates were better and started automatically penalizing resumes that had words like women's on them. It's just a powerful reminder that without human oversight, AI can accidentally supercharge our own worst biases.
So, knowing all those challenges, how do we actually do this? How do we make the partnership work? Well, that brings us to the playbook. It all starts with setting the right ground rules. First, you have to frame the AI as an expert advisor, not the ultimate decider. Then, you play to everyone's strengths. Let the machine crush the data. Let the humans do the interpreting. And this one is non-negotiable. A human has to, always has to, be in the loop for critical decisions. And of course, none of this happens unless you actually train your people to understand how this all works.
And beyond those steps, you need to build the right environment. That means clear policies for how AI gets used. It means being obsessed with the quality of your data because, garbage in, garbage out. And really, it all comes down to building that collaborative centaur culture where AI is seen as an awesome co-pilot, not a threat.
Look, if you only take one thing away from this whole playbook, let it be this. It's a simple but really powerful idea. AI is amazing at giving you the what.
It'll give you the data, the patterns, the probabilities, but it's always up to us, the humans, to figure out the why behind it all, and then decide how we're going to act on it. So let's circle all the way back to that first question we asked, AI versus humans. You know what? It was the wrong question all along. The future isn't a competition. It is, and it has to be, a collaboration. And that leaves us with this final, really critical thought to chew on. AI itself is not going to replace people, but people who learn how to partner with AI, the people who become those centaurs, they will absolutely have a massive advantage over the people who don't. The new competitive edge isn't man or machine. It's man and machine working together.